Chantel Rogers is the president and founder of the IXL Sickle Cell Awareness Foundation that was founded in 2015. In the Netherlands, there are about 2,000 patients and 60,000 carriers of sickle cell disease. This group is focused on supporting these patients and their environment and spreading awareness for the disease. Joining her today is Giovanni Stewart, a sickle cell patient who has used the program and tools used by Excel, excuse me, as well as Galore Colombo, a transplant patient. So we would like to welcome you for participating on this global conference on today. Ms. Rogers, please go ahead.
Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, depending on where you're tuning in from. I'm Chantel Rogers. Thanks for the introduction. I brought two of my friends who also are going to share a bit of their story. Yeah, so IXL Sickle Cell Awareness is basically an organization that operates from the belief that everybody with sickle cell is able to excel, so everybody can become and do whatever they want, as long as they accept the disease and as long as they accept the disease, which is a very big part of my journey. I was born with sickle cell. I'm 42 right now. I had over 40 hospitalizations, and I made a major switch in acceptance, lifestyle, etc., which led to me not being hospitalized for 7 years now. So that's very good. I'm very happy with that, blessed. I have sickle cell SS, and after I had less crises, I wanted to help other patients, other young people who are going through the same phase that I went through when I was young. So that's why I founded IXL Sickle Cell Awareness. Okay, go to the next slide, Kristen. Yeah, so IXL Sickle Cell Awareness is basically a nonprofit run by volunteers that were based in the Netherlands. The Netherlands has 2,000 patients. They mostly live in the larger city, Amsterdam, Rotterdam, but also throughout the country. The patients have their roots in South America, countries like Suriname, Curaçao, Aruba, but also Ghana and Cape Verdean Islands. We're focused on raising awareness and also developing tools to better the positions of people with sickle cell, like we're developing an entrepreneur program right now for young sickle cell patients who have a creative dream. And we also do campaigns. Can you go to the next slide, Kristen? Yes. So, of course, we collaborate with the hospitals and with families and everything, but we also believe in working with brands that resonate with young people from the urban culture or from the communities where sickle cell is mostly found. So this is an example of one of the collaboration, Pata, which is a Dutch streetwear brand, and they run marathons for us. This was New York. You see New York on the right on the left side. But we also run marathons in Berlin, Amsterdam, just to raise awareness and a little bit of money. Not enough for the extensive research that we've been talking about, but it is enough to do our activities. I also wanted to show a little bit of, maybe 1 minute of the documentary. Yes.
We did it! Heel win! Tot en met 12 minuten zelf. We zijn nu. En we zijn nu het gaan halen. En we hebben het gehaald.
Yeah, you can stop it right now. Okay. Yeah, so we do a lot with creativity. We believe in the power of arts to tell stories. So we recently launched a children's book, Lennox and the Golden Sickle, if you translate that. Yeah, you can go to the next sheet. And I will hand it over to my colleague, Giovanni Stewart, and he will tell a bit about his journey.
Hello,
Hey,
everybody.
Gio.
Can everybody hear me? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, nice. Well, my name is Giovanni Stewart, 32 years old, born and raised in Amsterdam. I'm here to share my experience, share my story a little bit. We don't have all the time, so I'm trying to keep it short as possible. But yeah, when I was 5 years old, I had my first crisis. I remember it was in my left leg, and after that, I had no crises or pains till I was like 20 years old. I played American football here in Amsterdam, and I received a scholarship to play in the junior college in America. It's Independence Community College. So I went over there, and after winter break, I had winter practices, and then I had after practice I had another crisis, but I didn't know that it was a crisis because it was so a long time ago. I also went to the hospitals in Amsterdam just for checkups and see if everything is good, but never had no crisis. So it was like maybe 15 years later that I had my second crisis. So I was transported to the hospital in Kansas, but there they didn't have, back then it was like in 2010, there was not really a lot of information there about sickle cell. It was a really small hospital. It was Independence in Kansas, so that is really small as well. But yeah, after my second official crisis, I transferred to a bigger school, to Kansas, Kansas State University, or Kentucky State University, my bad. And also there, every year, I had a crisis after a workout. So for me, I always played sports though. In the Netherlands, I played soccer, basketball, and then my true sport was then American football. So I had the opportunity to go and play in America because that was a dream of mine. So I went there, and then in Kentucky, it went worse and worse because the level went higher and higher. And after like 2 years, I had like 3 or 4 situations where I was where I went to the hospital for crises. So I had to stop playing American football after my 3rd year there, and then I came back to Amsterdam. But still here in Amsterdam in 2013, 14, 15, I still went to the hospital. There's a lot of variables why people can get a crisis, of course. Could be cold, could be stress, could be so many different things. And for me, I was not paying attention, like Chantel just mentioned, the acceptance. I did accept it because I came back to Amsterdam, but still here in Amsterdam, I still went to the hospital a lot of times, like 2-3 times a year in 2014, 15, 16. Till 2017, I started to change some things. I went to parties a lot, started in the States, college, for me, the college life. Too much party, drinking. Here in Amsterdam, of course, I had to have fun with my friends here in Amsterdam because I came back, a lot of party, a lot of unhealthy stuff, unhealthy foods I was eating. So in 2017, I changed my diet. I went to a plant-based diet after watching a lot of documentaries, a lot of information, went more plant-based. And in 2017, I didn't go to the hospital. So that was a good thing for me. Because like I said, since 2010 till 2016, I went to the hospital like every year, maybe 2 or 3, 4 times a year. And then in 2017, that stopped when I changed to a plant-based diet. And of course, a lot of other things. I didn't train that hard anymore, or I still went to the gym, but the trainings were different than 2 or 3 days, like at the college where I played at Kentucky State University. but also didn't go out that much more. Stop drinking, stop doing, stop putting too much stress on my body. So in 2017, 18, 19, yeah, till now, I'm I'm feeling better, like mentally, but also physically. And I think that has a lot to do with, again, acceptance and changing some stuff. But it was a process. It was a process for me. I learned a lot, met a lot of people, and I'm here just to share my story, try to inspire. For me, it's like the next generation, but also people that older than me. I think we can all learn from each other, and sharing knowledge, sharing awareness, giving out information, because some things that maybe work for me doesn't have to work for you. But if you can talk about it, you can pick something. I'm just here to plant seeds. So for me, again, it was the changing of, it was a lifestyle change. For me, it was mostly the food that I was eating, but also relax more, stop drinking, a lot of stuff that benefited my health overall. So yeah, I'm glad that this is organized. I want to thank you, of course, thank everybody that's here, and I'm excited to hear a lot of more stories, so I can get something, get more out of it, all the information, all the science, everything. I'm always trying to learn. And if you have questions, you can also just text me or get my email, or maybe send my email here, so we can stay in contact. If you have other questions, just let me know. But thank you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Gallo. I hope you can hear me.
We hear you.
Yes. So, what I say? My name is Gallo. I'm now 34. Originally I'm from Congo, Kinshasa, and I have my whole life I have sickle cell, but I didn't know for the when I was young what I have, because I think my story is that I had to do it all alone for the greatest part of my life, because when I was young I had the crisis in Baren. Was like a real small city in Holland, and there's not a lot of black people living here. So when I had my crisis, the doctor just sent me home, and then I of course I had another one, and then once the doctor thought about sending my case to a hospital in Utrecht, and there's a lot of, it's a little bit great with sickness of sickle cell. They know a little bit about that. So when I was there about I think I slept there about a week or something like that, and then they sent my case in Amsterdam, Amsterdam AMC. That's the big hospital. And when I was there in the big hospital from Amsterdam, they started teaching me about my sickness, what I had, and how they had more patient like me, and then I start I started about learning about my sickness when the doctor explained me what I had, and it was not my fault that I was getting sick. It was just what I had. And but when I was in Amsterdam, say I was like something like 14, something like that. So I really didn't know how to handle the sickness. So I was doing everything that every 14 years kids does, like going to swimming. And when I went to swim, everybody was okay, but me, I was like getting very sick, and that was really like it was really strange for me because everybody was normal, was doing the thing like going to the but always getting back to home. But me, I was always like I need I had to cry, I had a lot of pain, and then when I get a little older, I start knowing what I had, but it was not stopping me because I was already. It was normal for me to go to the like still doing my thing. So it was not really. I was not accepting what I had. So I was still trying to do everything that I wanted to do, not think about my sickness, but just doing what I want to do. But that was not really that smart, but I didn't know. And I think when I was like little older, I had my first like sickle cell attack on my like in my chest hold, and then I was really sick, and it was so bad that I had to go to the ICU, and they had to change my whole blood, and they really had to get my old blood really away, and they have to give me clean blood. And I think that day I was kind of really shocked, and they hold me a little bit back to it had me afraid. So but I didn't know how to handle uh, that thing what just happened to me, because all my friends and everybody that I knew don't have any sickness. Nobody that I know have sickness, so nobody can explain me really how to do to live with this sickness that it doesn't really show, but I don't know when and I don't know how it come. You just someday you're good and someday you're like, oh, now it's really not good. But you cannot like uh, live for the day that something's gonna happen. So I just lived, and I love to sport. So I went to fitness with a friend of me, and but what happens every time when I had like a heavy back day, I had to go to the hospital after that. So I thought, so I cannot do the gym anymore, and but when I started again, I was okay again, and but the thing was, I always had to go to the hospital, like maybe in 6 times, 6 months, 6 times. So it was really taking away of my life to evolve and grow up, and doing everything. Uh, so one day I saw the stem cell transplantation somewhere. I really don't know where anymore. I went to my doctor, and I asked them, am I allowed to do this transplantation? They checked the list, and because I had a lot of pain, and I had I had to change some. I do my hips. Yeah, my hips. I got changed. So I got a lot of competition with the sickle cell. So the list it checked out. So they say to me I can do the transplantation. So so it's like now 3 years from 3 years ago, something like that. We before we had to do the take a lot of medicine before the treatment, and for the transportation, and they had to find a match for the blood. So they find for I have like 8 brothers and sisters. They find my sister had the same they had the same blood for me for to transportation transportate, and so we had the transportation. It was a lot of it was good. It was after the transportation was really good. My life was started going good, and I think about 8 months after that, after my transportation, I had an grosses first host gracious hostess or something like that, when the cell attacked the host, the in, and that was really shocking, because I didn't know that something after the transplantation gonna happen again. So that was really, I had to go back to the hospital, and going uh, with heavy meditation, prednison. I don't know if people know this. It's really heavy stuff, medication. And I didn't know that after the transplantation is gonna, so it really shocked me. And but after that, they kind of treat me. They treat me treat me good, and then I think then it was going good. Now I'm like 2 year now 3 year after the transplantation, and 2 year after the last time I went to the hospital, and I'm doing fine. And the one thing I had to know before I done my transplantation was, I think that you had to be before you had the transplantation, your life have to go really smooth, no lot of stress. Your house had to know they have to leave you like no doing heavy things, and and I think that the transportation really went good. It cannot be better, but if you know before the transportation, you no stress, I think this gonna help you before you for after the transportation. So my English is really bad, but I hope that somebody had something about it can help somebody for that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Chantel, do you have any closing comments before we proceed to the next guest? And if you could briefly focus on anything that's primarily pertaining to immediate concerns before and after curative therapy.
Yes, please. Yes, I will. I think that so if you look at what we offer here in the Netherlands, it's comparable to what to the stage that the States are in right now as far as cure, as far as the therapies. What I do think is a big concern is the aftercare. You see that the aftercare is very much focused on the medical side, like how's the patient going, how's the blood, how is everything, like aren't there any side effects like graft versus host, as we've seen with Galore. But there's also a very psychological side of not having a disease and having had a very severe disease for more than your entire lifetime up until you're cured. And I don't see a lot of attention or a lot of aftercare on that part. So that would be my, I wonder how y'all do that in the States. But that's something that I see with the patients that are cured here. Having to always be aware that you have something, that you cannot do this and that and that all and when that's all gone, you kind of, there's some kind of emptiness, but there's also I don't know, you see phantom pain sometimes, as well as it's a very severe procedure also, where you have to really overcome that. So the psychological side of that, the non-medical side there, that needs more attention. That would be